Two Geeks, Two Beers. Episode 66, Wonder Woman.
Hey there, Wonder Woman. Flying your invisible plane, I see.
Boy, this is awkward. I'm actually in the lavatory of the invisible plane.
Oh, you mean right now you're...
Yeah.
So I couldn't help but notice you didn't wash your hands in the invisible sink.
Hello, and welcome to episode 66 of Two Geeks, Two Beers, with me, Morgan, and in his satin tights, fighting for his rights, it's Tom.
I knew the webcam was a bad idea.
Oh, yeah, this Zoom call is taking a strange turn. So, long ago, when we were all free to roam the streets, we had planned an episode to tie into the June 2020 release of Wonder Woman 1984. Since then, society has collapsed, and while that film has been postponed till August, we find ourselves with a lot more time on our hands. Hence, the early release of this episode exploring the wonderful world of Wonder Woman, or specifically the 1970s television series, which, as you'll discover, underwent plenty of shifts and changes itself. Now, Tom, obviously, you know who Wonder Woman is.
Yeah, I've heard
You're
of
aware.
it. Yeah.
Heard of her. But how much do you know about this specific small screen iteration of the character?
Nothing other than I've seen obviously photos and footage of Lynda Carter as Wonder Woman, and her. I think she's up there with like Princess Leia as like the ultimate nerd's dream of a woman. Perfectly explained in the OC when Seth Cohen gets was a Summer dresses up as her. Is that the same sort of? Was that the same Wonder Woman garb? The same one?
Similar.
Yeah. But that's kind of it. I know about Lasso of Truth and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I know next to nothing about Wonder Woman, to be honest. I haven't even seen the latest one with Gal Gadot. I've not seen it. So
You've not seen what?
No. Well, DC's dead to me after I tried up until what was it, Batman vs Superman, and she was good in it. So I've seen her in that, but she was barely in that film. And but I've never. I know that I've heard the film is good, but I've not seen it.
Yeah, it's worth, take yourself out of the whole DCEU, Worlds of DC, expanded universe
as a standalone
mess.
film.
Take it as a standalone.
Okay.
It's good.
I will watch it.
So, you don't know a lot about Wonder Woman, although you know Lasso of Truth, weirdly.
Yeah.
And I knew a little bit about the Wonder Woman TV series that we're going to be talking about, but I learned a lot more researching this episode. And it's a series that starts off with a very particular style and format, and then it goes through several reboots along the way and relaunches, and madness ensues. So it ran for 3 seasons, which is 59 episodes and a movie-length pilot between the 7th of November 1975 and September the 11th, 1979. And before we talk about the Lynda Carter-led series, we need to address something else.
Yeah.
The Wonder Woman series that could have been Wonder Woman 1974.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in 1974, the American network ABC aired the TV movie Wonder Woman, produced by Warner Brothers. And this was a 75-minute TV film, which was intended to be a pilot for a potential series. It was directed by Vincent McAvity, who was a veteran TV director who had gone on to helm both Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo and Herbie Goes Bananas.
I mean, they're very good Herbie films.
So this was only the start of an illustrious career for him. It was written by John D.F. Black, who would go on to co-write the original Shaft. And it starred, for some reason, professional tennis player and actress Kathy Lee Crosby as Wonder Woman.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a tennis fan, and I have to say I'm not familiar with Crosby's career. So when you say professional tennis player, was she like a...
No, she was a pretty big deal.
Okay, cool. She wasn't like an Andrew Castle situation where you say you're a professional tennis player, but, you know... Okay, carry on.
The Wonder Woman of this TV film, bore little resemblance to the traditional version of the character in either costume or abilities.
No costume or abilities?
Well, she had a costume, but it wasn't really the Wonder Woman costume. And she had abilities, but they weren't really Wonder Woman's abilities. Okay. Though her invisible plane is referenced in dialogue. Do you know that? Wonder Woman has an invisible plane?
No. No.
Yeah.
I thought you just meant like her, the other sort of plane. I don't know, like a...
What? Like she's from like a nether realm.
Yeah. Why not?
She's from the invisible plane.
So when you say plane, do you mean like
a jet?
Like an actual like Boeing 747 or?
Well, I can't tell you because it's invisible. I don't know.
No one's seen it. No one knows what it looks like. Okay.
She's just sort of sat there.
Is she
levitate? Well, I presume she's sat in like an invisible seat.
She's not got people on it like stewardesses and stuff like that, and they're all invisible.
She doesn't run Wonder Woman Airlines. No, she's got like a one-person jet that she flies, but it's invisible, so you can't really see what model of jet.
That's a very specific. I don't know, not even a skill. Power, I guess. Can she make other things invisible? Or is it just the plane?
I think she's got this invisible plane, and I'm not entirely clear on whether or not she makes it invisible or whether or not she just
was she given it
upon an invisible plane at some point. I guess it's some kind of like Amazon magic that they've got an invisible plane.
So I assume she can make other things invisible if she wanted to, but she's gone with the plane for some reason. Why does it need to be invisible anyway?
I guess for stealth, but it's not like she's invisible. You can always see her. She's just sort of like levitating.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's pointless because the people can still see her coming. I thought the whole point was that she can arrive in like some sort of luxury, but without anyone seeing.
Again, it's more like a fighter jet, not like first class.
But I don't see the point. So it's invisible. Can they hear it? Can they hear the plane?
Yeah, I think so.
So you can hear a massive plane coming towards them, and they can just see the disembodied head of Lynda Carter.
Well, that's not her head. It's not. No, it's the thing. It's not even her head because it's not like it's poking out the cockpit because all of it's invisible.
So you can just see Lynda Carter or whoever's Wonder Woman sat down in a seated position.
Correct.
Flying through the air.
Sat down as you normally are in a seated position. Yeah.
With the jet engine sounds going on.
Yeah.
That's a very odd power to have.
Well, that's why it wasn't portrayed on screen in this Wonder Woman pilot TV movie.
I think they read that and went, yeah, it's a bit... okay, let's just leave it.
So, as I say, it didn't have...
Can't she fly?
No. Well, not unless she's in her invisible jet.
Okay, that's why she's got the jet. Okay, fine, carry on.
So, the only aspect of Diana's classic costume retained for this film were her famous bracelets, but in this film they were depicted as James Bond-style gadgets. Nothing magical about them.
Okay.
So it seems like, on paper, like this is nothing like any kind of Wonder Woman we know. However, there are some similarities to the character's portrayal in this to an era of the comics, an unpopular era, it has to be said, from the late 60s, early 70s, where desperate to counter flagging comic sales, DC revamped Wonder Woman as an Emma Peel-like heroine without powers who was trained in martial arts by her blind sensei, I Ching.
They were doing a bit of a Dark Knight type thing, but trying to make it realistic, sort of, I assume.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll show you a snippet from the movie in a minute, and you'll sort of see why it's not quite on the par with the Nolan Dark Knight trilogy. So in this film, Wonder Woman is pitted against the saboteur, Abner Smith, played by Ricardo Montalban.
You are so totally captivating. Let me make love to you.
Why?
Because your eyes reach into
You
mine.
misunderstood me. I didn't mean why should you want to. I meant why should I?
Don't you find me attractive? Appealing?
Yes. But there are quite a few attractive and appealing men in this world.
I don't care about the others.
Oh, George. You don't?
You're fast. I like you.
Thank you. Now, if you'll excuse me.
There's no reason to run away.
Oh, I know that, George. Good night.
What a pig.
There's no reason to run away. There's no reason to run away, apart from the fact that you're super creepy. You're fast. I like it.
He's having dinner with someone and goes, let me make love to you. That's not going to work, is it?
So this pilot aired originally on the 12th of March 1974 and was repeated on the 21st of August of that year. But its ratings were described by the Washington Post as respectable, but not exactly wondrous. And ABC did not pick up the pilot. An ABC executive later admitted that updating the character was a mistake, and a contemporary Newsday review called it disgraceful. The 2004 book, What Were They Thinking? Labelled the pilot
like my favourite book of all time. That sounds amazing.
It labelled the pilot as one of the 100 dumbest events in television.
What was particularly about it?
You saw it.
Yeah, I know, but like
dreadful.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I don't know, it was made well. At least it was.
I mean, the director of photography didn't drop the ball, but I think everyone else did. Like, it's not Wonder Woman, and the script and the acting is dreadful.
And sexist AF.
Yeah, exactly. Though, having said that, this is notable for being the first ever female-led superhero TV project, predating the likes of the Bionic Woman. So, even though it's only a pilot, even though it was a pilot, it was the first female-led superhero TV project. So, despite that debacle, Warner Brothers and ABC did not give up on the idea of a Wonder Woman TV series. ABC still felt that a Wonder Woman series had potential, and within a year, another pilot was in production. So they made another TV movie pilot called The New Original Wonder Woman, which I'm pretty sure is an oxymoron. And this ran to 90 minutes and aired on the 7th of November, 1975. Scripting duties were given to Stanley Ralph Ross, who was instructed to be more faithful to the comic book. You couldn't really be less faithful. And this attempt more closely matched the original comic character created by William Moulton Marston, right down to the World War II setting. And it includes a comic-accurate costume, which won costume designer Donald Lee Feld, or Don Feld, as he was credited, an Emmy nomination in 1978. Now, Kathy Lee Crosby later claimed she had been offered the chance to reprise the lead role of Wonder Woman in this new pilot. She claimed.
Yeah.
But apparently 2,000 actresses went up for the role of Wonder Woman in this new pilot, including all three of the original Charlie's Angels, Farrah Fawcett, Jacqueline Smith, Kate Jackson, and David Bowie's wife, Angela Bowie. Bowie? Apparently she also tried out for the role of Wonder Woman.
2,000 people?
That is what Lynda Carter alleges.
Okay, right. It's funny, back then, things are pretty bad now, but back then, sexism and all that, I mean, you saw that clip, dreadful. You get to the point where it's like, you're surprised they didn't go like, this Wonder Woman, could it be a man?
Wonder Woman, I love it. But how about we make it Wonder Man?
Yeah. When you said it couldn't be less faithful, that might have been it.
That's true. It's the only thing they could have done worse. Yeah. Only thing they could have done worse. So, as we know, Lynda Carter was ultimately cast as Wonder Woman. Carter was an Arizona beauty queen who had later taken acting classes at several New York acting schools and used savings set aside from days touring with her band to pursue acting in Los Angeles. Those funds were almost exhausted. She only had $25 in her bank account, a bit like me. And she was about to give up on her dream and return home to Arizona when she beat out Blade Runner actress Joanna Cassidy to the part of Wonder Woman. Of the part, Carter said, "I want women to want to be me or be my best friend." It's interesting you were talking about sexism, because not only was this one of the first female-led superhero TV projects, but it was also progressive in other ways. Lynda Carter, not at first, but eventually made $1 million a year. That's what she was paid for Wonder Woman, which was one of the most lucrative contracts for a woman in Hollywood ever at that time. And guess what else?
Should I be able to guess?
She was paid more than her male co-stars.
Oh, well, you'd think so, surely. I just assumed that was the case. If you're the lead star in your program.
Well, that's because you're very enlightened, Tom. But yeah, as you say, she's Wonder Woman.
Even back then, like the idea that they'd go, that bloke who's in like 3 scenes of you, we're going to pay him more because he's a man. Like, and come on, it's Wonder Woman. She's playing Wonder Woman.
Yeah, no, I know.
In the title.
I know, but it was rare at the time that even when there was a show with a female lead, the men would usually be paid more.
That's so silly, isn't it?
So, in this new revamped pilot, Diana, Lynda Carter, volunteers to return intelligence operative and United States Army Air Corps officer Steve Trevor, who's played by Lyle Waggoner, to Washington, D.C. after he crashes his airplane on Paradise Island.
What do you think it is?
I think it's called a parachute. But what's it doing here on Paradise Island? It's a man. He's been hurt. He's almost dead, Rena.
A man here on our island?
Just help me get him out of this contraption. Help me lift him. Be careful.
I've never seen a man in the flesh before.
Who of us have?
So upon arriving in Washington, D.C., Diana establishes the secret identity of Diana Prince and begins working for Steve while also battling Nazis as her superpowered alter ego, Wonder Woman. And this second pilot was a ratings hit. It was successful enough for ABC to greenlight a series. They ordered initially 2 hour-long episodes, which aired as specials in April of 1976, and then later 11 more episodes comprising the rest of the first season, which aired from October onwards. And I think we've held off long enough. It's time for you to experience. Have you ever heard the Wonder Woman theme song?
I don't think I have. I might have done. We'll find out now.
You're about to. Something pretty special.
Can't be worse than Hulk cartoon.
It's not worse than Hulk.
Two things to mention there. You couldn't see because it's audio. But two of the guest stars of that, at least that episode, I don't know if they're in it all the time. Red Button, that's his name, and Fanny Flagg. I mean, that's the 70s for you right there.
So the Wonder Woman theme song, the music was by Charles Fox and the lyrics were by Norman Gimbel. And Gimbel and Fox, as well as writing the Wonder Woman theme song, do you know what famous song they wrote?
No.
Killing Me Softly.
Oh, okay. Well, they upgraded.
Yeah.
Well, is that what they did?
Well, no, Fox also wrote the theme song for The Love Boat. Love, exciting and new. So, He knocked out some classics. And Gimbal wrote the English lyrics to a number of Brazilian and French songs, including The Girl from Ipanema.
Can I just say that Fanny Flagg, best known for being a semi-regular panellist on game show Match Game and for the 1987 novel Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe, which was adapted into the 1991 motion picture Fried Green Tomatoes.
Wait, she wrote the novel?
Yeah, she was nominated for Academy Award for Screenplay Adaptation, so well done, Miss Flagg.
Wow.
Carry on.
And
Red Button.
Match Game.
Match Game, yeah.
That was the American version of Blankety Blank, I believe.
Ah, okay, cool. If I search Red Button, I just get the BBC Red Buttons. That's not going to help me.
I think it was Red Buttons, plural.
Red Buttons. Okay, hang on. You never know.
You've sold him short.
Red Buttons. Oh, no, here he is. He won an Oscar as well. He won an Oscar.
Wow.
He won an Oscar and a Golden Globe for a supporting role in the 1957 film Sayonara. Just looks like he's just a really great character actor, acted for ages, passed away in 2006. Yeah, I take it back, Mr. Buttons. That is quite the name though, isn't it? Anyway, carry on.
Well, no, it's perfect because we're segueing now into the rest of the cast. So cast alongside Lynda Carter in the first season were, as you saw there, Tom, Lyle Waggoner as Steve Trevor, which is the same character that Chris Pine plays in the new movies. Mm-hmm. That character was first introduced to DC Comics in 1941. And Waggoner had previously come close to playing another comic book character, Batman, in the 1960s TV series. It was between him and Adam West for the role.
There you go.
Seen here is Lyle Waggoner playing the part of millionaire Bruce Wayne, testing with Peter Dale, who performs in the role of Dick Grayson.
It looks black as pitch, Dick. I've been through all my father's old law books, and I don't see we have a leg to stand on. My identity exposed. My value as a secret crime fighter ended. Everything I've trained myself for since my parents were murdered. In the ash can, gone up the chute. Oh, that's too terrible to face.
It's a dirty trick.
Oh dear. The Robin there, that wasn't Peter Dale. But obviously Adam West was brilliant as Batman, but I would love to have seen Lyle Waggoner give it a good go, because I think he did it quite differently.
Yeah, a lot of people in the comments there on the YouTube clip were saying he's got a bit of a George Clooney vibe.
Yeah.
I think he was sold short.
He got a good gig in the end. So,
yeah, exactly. I think he was sold short by being paired with an inferior Robin there. Waggoner, at the time, was also considered a sex symbol, having done a semi-nude pictorial in the first issue of Playgirl.
Was it full frontal, like Burt Reynolds?
Well, it says semi-nude, so I assume he didn't get his Steve Trevor out. He was also, apparently, the mayor of Encino, California. Like while he was doing Wonder Woman, he was also just the mayor of some town in California.
He sounds like Bruce Wayne.
Or Buster Crabbe. So the role of Steve Trevor in Wonder Woman was almost written for him. Stanley Ralph Ross's pilot script describes Steve Trevor as a Lyle Waggoner type, or better yet, get Lyle Waggoner. Get me Lyle. Waggoner sadly passed away just last month.
Oh, that's sad. Well, it's time that we're doing this episode then.
It is. It's a little tribute to Lyle. He passed away on the 17th of March, 2020, aged 84. Lynda Carter said, Lyle Waggoner was a memorable colleague and co-star, but he was also a friend. His kindness meant the world to me when I was very young and just starting my career. Lyle and I last spoke in 2018, and I'm so glad we had the chance to catch up. I will miss you, Lyle.
Yes, I noticed the two, Diana. They played every stop on the sabotage circuit. Make a great cover for an enemy operation.
Perhaps if we could get one of our own agents into that beauty contest.
Might flush them out. Take a really beautiful girl, though. Someone with all the right qualifications.
Well, I'd be willing to try.
Thanks, Diana. I know you do a wonderful job. But I'm afraid this calls for a really gorgeous girl. Someone who looks great in a bathing suit.
Other characters in Wonder Woman, the first season at least, were Steve's boss, General Blankenship, who was played by John Randolph in the pilot and Richard Eastham in the series. And he was based on the comic character General Phil Darnell. Happy Days actress Beatrice Colon, she played Blankenship's secretary, Etta Candy, who again is a character from the comics, who was played by Lucy Davis in the 2017 movie.
Oh, yeah.
And in a recurring role, Deborah Winger. Later, a 3-time Oscar nominee for her film appearances in An Officer and a Gentleman, Terms of Endearment, and Shadowlands. She played Wonder Girl, who was Diana's younger sister. Apparently, the character was quite popular, and apparently Winger was offered a spin-off, but she didn't enjoy playing the part, as she spent most of her fee buying herself out of her contract with Warner Brothers.
Well, there's a lot of Oscar talent in this production.
There is a lot of great names attached. I mean, notable guest stars across the series run included Rick Springfield,
nice,
David Hedison, who played Felix Leiter in a couple of James Bond movies, Roddy McDowall, who wasn't Oscar nominated but should have been for Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
John Saxon of Nightmare on Elm Street and Enter the Dragon fame, Ted Shackelford of Dallas and, more importantly, Space Precinct, and Barry Van Dyke.
Yes, amazing. I didn't know he did anything else other than Diagnosis Murder. I'm glad he had another good at least one.
Most famous for Diagnosis Murder and being Son of Dick.
Yeah.
And also, Wonder Woman featured 2 actors with other DC Comics connections. Frank Gorshin, who best known for playing the Riddler in the 1960s Batman TV series, and Bob Hastings, who later voiced Commissioner Gordon in Batman the Animated Series.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice link.
So this new Wonder Woman series had a comic book aesthetic. As you saw, the series title sequence was animated in the form of a series of comic book panels featuring Wonder Woman performing a variety of heroic feats. But also within the show, scene setting and exposition was handled through comic book style text panels.
Good.
But there were some... good. Glad to hear it. But there were some tweaks to the comic, including, again, forward-thinking, Diana was a Navy officer rather than a nurse. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with being a nurse, but at the time, I think being a nurse would have been seen as a traditionally female role, and instead she was a Navy officer. And her powers, rather than being kind of inherent, were tied to her magic belt. And one significant other change was the way in which Diana became Wonder Woman. So this series introduced the idea of her spinning around and becoming Wonder Woman. Because during the filming of the pilot, producers were trying to figure out a way to show how Diana would become Wonder Woman. And Lynda Carter, who had a dance background, suggested she do a sort of ballet spin.
You wouldn't want to do that accidentally, though, because I feel like when she does that spin, it's not. I don't know why you would do a couple of spins in a row, but be careful.
Yeah, if she's on just like a merry-go-round or something, is it?
Yeah, or if there's a fly buzzing around you and you just sort of get off, oh no, oh my god, it's Wonder Woman.
So shooting this original transformation sequence took 45 minutes, with the camera being locked off while Carter went into hair, makeup and costuming to become Wonder Woman. But the spinning transformation proved popular and was later incorporated into the comics and animated appearances such as Justice League Unlimited. In early episodes, the transformed Wonder Woman would leave her civilian clothes nearby in a closet or locker. And according to Wikipedia, how she changes back to Diana is never shown, although presumably she must return to the location to retrieve her clothes. So after saving the day, she has to sneak back in, still in full Wonder Woman costume, and sort of like open the locker, hope no one sees, get her old clothes out. This aspect was dropped from later episodes.
Not surprised.
This series began at a time when violence on television was under intense scrutiny. Not entirely sure why. As a result, Wonder Woman wasn't often seen punching or kicking people. Beyond the early episodes, she would usually be shown pushing and throwing enemies or using creativity to get them to somehow knock themselves out. Okay. Despite the wartime setting, she almost never resorted to deadly force. The only exception occurs in the pilot episode when she sinks a German U-boat by crashing an airplane into it, presumably killing everyone aboard. So when she does resort, she doesn't always resort to deadly force, but when she does,
I mean, that sounds like a serious war crime. I mean, whoops.
So Lynda Carter was often keen to perform her own stunts. She even went against producers' wishes to hold onto a helicopter suspended 50 feet in the air for a season 2 episode. During season 1, Wonder Woman has the ability to impersonate anyone's voice, which would come in handy over the telephone. She did not use this ability in seasons 2 and 3.
The classic kind of the Harry Potter thing, I call it, where you have a skill and then never bring it back. Like in Azkaban, where they can time travel or something, and then they come on, you just forget.
Was there just not the call for it?
Yeah.
Must have. Surely it would have come in handy at some point. Obviously, we'll get onto the later seasons later, but it's worth mentioning now that Diana also exhibited other powers in the show's third season, particularly in the episode The Deadly Dolphin, in which she is shown communicating telepathically with animals and generating bursts of an unknown form of energy to scare away a killer shark. Never seen before or since, can just suddenly energy blasts.
Are they doing the last Skywalker technique of just like adding powers whenever they fancied it?
Yes.
Like, you know, when Jedis can now heal out of nowhere. That came out.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Any excuse to have a dig at the new Star Wars movies.
Oh, we all enjoy it.
So, Wonder Woman's bracelets, which we mentioned earlier, they could be used to deflect bullets. You may have seen clips of, Lynda Carter using her bracelets to repel bullets. The sparks from the bullet impact were not, as I always thought, a visual effect. Instead, the prop master wired up Carter's bracelets to spark, with the actress herself operating them. So she pressed like a little button.
Yeah.
Real sparks would fly from the bracelets.
Putting a lot of faith into the actress's workload there. But
did you not hear me when I said she hung up, 50 feet in the air off a helicopter? Lynda Carter was hardcore.
But why didn't they just put the whole Wonder Woman suit as bullet repelling material?
Because then she'd just stand there and it wouldn't look as cool. She has to do it with her bracelet. Or maybe it is, and maybe she just wants to show off with her bracelets.
Yeah, she's probably just so hard, it doesn't really matter. So she's going, I'll just do it like this.
So, despite good ratings for the first season, ABC delayed on picking up the show for a second season. This was because Wonder Woman was a period piece set in the 1940s, which made the sets, the costumes, the cars more expensive to produce. But rival network CBS agreed to pick up the show on one condition, that the setting be changed from its original setting of World War II, the 1940s, to the modern day, 1970s.
Okay, because I thought that's where it was set, yeah.
And you were not wholly wrong.
Once.
So with season 2, the show's title was changed to The New Adventures of Wonder Woman, and the series moved away from international intrigue to become a more conventional police/detective action type show that was more common in the 1970s.
Like TJ Hooker or something.
Yeah, it's like TJ Hooker, but instead of a slightly aging, overweight William Shatner, you've got Lynda Carter. So,
I assume there's a reason as to why it's suddenly in the 70s.
Not really, but they do kind of address what happens between.
Okay.
So season 2 picks up over 3 decades after the events of season 1. Hell of a time jump. It's revealed that Wonder Woman remained active from 1942 to 1945 and was honoured by Franklin D. Roosevelt for her work against the Axis powers. But at some point, I guess at the end of the war, she returned to her home of Paradise Island. Aging slowly because of her Amazon nature, she returns from Paradise Island after a 35-year absence, looking pretty much the same, to become an agent with the Interagency Defense Command, or IADC, a CIA/FBI type organization fighting crime, espionage, and the occasional alien invasion. So Nazis are out, aliens are in for season 2.
Cool. Like Indiana Jones.
yeah, but better. The original Steve Trevor was revealed to have risen to the rank of Major General and died, sadly. I mean, in the 35-year interim between the first and second seasons. Although Lyle Waggoner remained with the series, portraying Trevor's son, Steve Jr.
Nice, nice.
And okay, so what's your thoughts there? Where he was playing the dad, and now he's playing the son.
I mean, it's all right. What's wrong with that?
Well, there could be the potential for some,
bit
weird.
Oh, I see what you mean now. I thought you meant like logistically of the actor playing the.
No, not logistically. I'm thinking more morally.
Okay. Did Wonder Woman actually have any romantic thing with original Lyle?
Well, so Wonder Woman and the first Steve Trevor were established as having something of a romantic relationship.
Okay.
I don't know if they ever but it was certain they clearly digged each other.
Okay.
Producers here decided to avoid any ickiness by having Diana and Steve Jr. remain just good friends.
Okay. So yeah, but then because how old was Lyle Wagner at this point? He looked a lot
30s.
older than Lynda Carter in the intro. Is all I'm saying.
I think he was.
Yeah.
so your point is the romance was always icky.
Yeah. That was just classic Hollywood for you, isn't it?
Yeah. The post-war fates of General Blankenship, Etta Candy, and Wonder Girl were never revealed.
Well.
The first 9 episodes of season 2 saw Diana paired with Steve, and their boss was Joe Atkinson, played by Norman Burton, who was another Felix Leiter in Diamonds Are Forever. He was a weathered IADC agent, but the Atkinson character was then dropped, and Steve was promoted to become IADC director. This was a decision allegedly fueled by animosity at the time between Lynda Carter and Lyle Wagner. Asked about their relationship at the time, Lyle Wagner, this is a direct quote, "Just say," he told TV Guide with a slight smile, "the spotlight is not willing to be shared." No, but whatever the reason, there were fewer appearances from Lyle Wagner in the series from that point on, and Sandra Sharp joined the cast as Eve, Steve's assistant, to give him another character to share scenes with. Now, at the beginning of season 2, the Wonder Woman theme song, which you've heard and now love, was rewritten to remove references to the Access powers, reflecting the show's new present-day setting, and the action depicted in the opening animated comic panels was also updated. But beginning with episode 9 of season 2, The Man Who Made Volcanoes, the show underwent another soft reboot, and the opening title sequence was changed again. And this revamped title sequence featured a now mostly instrumental version of the theme song, which meant no more satin tights and no more fighting for her rights. Season 2, and you'll love this, Season 2 also introduced Ira, a super intelligent computer, and towards the end of the season, a small mobile robot called Rover was added for comic relief.
Oh no, they've done the classic. The what was it? The snarf thing. Yeah. Oh no one wants
Scrappy-Doo.
But no one's ever wanted it.
No. He used to go meep meep, and it was the exact same noise as Roadrunner. Literally like the exact same noise. Wonder Woman also in season 2, she had a slightly modified costume with a tiara that could double as a boomerang. And season 2 also introduced new variants on her outfit, including a diving uniform for underwater missions, or a Wonder wetsuit, and a special uniform with a gold helmet for whenever she rode motorcycles. Weirdly, didn't have a pilot's uniform. Think she would. Again, the producers of Wonder Woman generally maintained her no-kill policy, although there were exceptions. In one episode, she is forced to destroy a clone of Adolf Hitler.
You can't leave that there. What was the why and how?
Well, there was a clone of Hitler, so she had to kill it. She had to kill it, Tom.
I mean,
it was Hitler.
Yeah, in the 70s for no reason.
Yeah.
All right.
The show from season 2 onwards starts to go a little bit batshit. A little bit.
There's a clone of Adolf Hitler.
It gets worse. So, with the beginning of the 3rd season, further changes were made to better target the show at a teenage audience, which the network saw as being its sort of target audience. The title theme was re-recorded again, this time to give it a disco vibe.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the height of disco. Yeah, I
missed it.
I think that, is that my favourite? Could be my favourite. I like the disco vibe of it.
Most people, that's their favourite, the disco vibe. Also, I just want to let the listeners know that while we were watching that, you said, "I love Lyle Waggoner's face. I love his cheeky little grin."
In those two intros, he just pops up and he's just like a smile, a beaming smile. Lyle Waggoner.
So again, to target Wonder Woman at a teenage audience, episodes began to revolve around topical subjects of the 70s, like skateboarding and roller coasters and the environment, which is always an important issue. Wonder Woman also got another costume variant for extreme sports.
like Triple X.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel. Xander Cage.
And the character of Eve disappeared. There's a little note there. The final episode of season 3, or at least the final episode produced, was called The Man Who Could Not Die, and it was intended to relaunch the show ahead of a 4th season, and saw Diana reassigned to the Los Angeles bureau of the IADC with a new supporting cast. These included Dale Hawthorne, played by John Duran, who was Diana's new boss; Brett Cassidy, played by Bob Seagren, who was the 1968 Olympic champion in pole vaulting. He played a genetically enhanced
back then.
Yeah, he played a genetically enhanced man who was indestructible. Okay. Another character intended to become a regular was a streetwise youngster named T. Burton Phipps III, played by, and I shit you not, an actor called James Bond III. It says on Wikipedia of this character, this streetwise youngster character, he's inexplicably allowed to hang out at the IADC. So it's like a top secret organisation, but they've just got he's just got this hip streetwise teen just hanging out with her.
It sounds like, was it Poochie in The Simpsons?
No, this is Poochie. Also added to the cast was a chimpanzee who, like Brett, is also indestructible. An indestructible chimp.
It sounds like Air Bud, the spin-offs. I can't remember what they're called, but
the freaky franchise. So yeah, the 4th season that never was. I think it's one of the great tragedies of TV that this 4th season was never produced with a streetwise youngster and an indestructible monkey. It would have been great, but CBS cancelled the show due to its low ratings.
I'm not surprised.
And yeah, is there like an equivalent for jumping the shark? It's like making the chimp indestructible. I feel like that should be. But the Incredible Hulk, hiring the monkey. There we go. The Incredible Hulk, another comic book show, took Wonder Woman's slot. Check out episode 32 of 2 Geeks, 2 Beers for more on that show. Lyle Waggoner, he said at the time, if Wonder Woman had been allowed to keep fighting the Nazis, she would have been on for a very long time. He was a fan of the original format of the show, wasn't so keen on the update and the various crazy antics that ensued.
Well, it sounds like it never really got a good, fair run at it. Like, they never really stayed in one place and did the same thing long enough. So it just kind of, each new season, it just changed too much.
It certainly never did the whole indestructible chimp thing for long enough. I would have happily seen more of that. But despite cancellation, the show's legacy continues. Aspects of the show, including the spinning transformation, were incorporated into the comics, and DC have published a Wonder Woman 77 comic set within the TV show's continuity.
Nice.
Which included crossovers with the Bionic Woman and the 60s Adam West Batman series.
Nice.
And in 2016, following the success of new animated films based on the 60s Batman, starring Adam West and Burt Ward, Warner Brothers said it was considering making an animated Wonder Woman film with Lynda Carter reprising the lead role. Hasn't happened yet. Who knows? It was only 3 years ago, and these things take a little while to develop, and obviously everything's on hold at the moment. So maybe at last we will see justice for the indestructible monkey. Yeah. So in 2017, Lynda Carter said of the role, and the way it follows her about, many actresses or actors, they want to divorce themselves from a role because we're actors. We really aren't the people we play. But I knew very early on that this character is much more than me, certainly. And to try and divorce myself from the experiences that other people have of the character is silly. And Carter posted this recently. It's a image of her with her original, an image of her today with her original Wonder Woman costume framed. And I'll just send this to you now, Tom.
Okay.
68 years old.
Bloody hell. Hardly aged.
I know, yeah. I mean, we're not trying to be lecture here at all, but Lynda Carter looks incredible for 68 years of age.
She really does. Well done.
Glowing. Well done.
Has she ever had any kind of potential comeback, like a cameo in the new films?
It's like you're reading my mind.
Okay, cool.
It's like you're reading my mind. It's like you're reading my mind, like she read that dolphin's mind. So, Patty Jenkins, who is the director of the 2017 film Wonder Woman with Gal Gadot, she was keen to have Lynda Carter make a cameo in the movie, but it never happened due to a scheduling conflict. But Carter has said she is game to appear in the sequels. So who knows? She may have shot a secret cameo for Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Thoughts?
Well, as I say, it's just of its era, isn't it? Those shows, because it wasn't our era, where it was before our time, they always are a little bit dated. They are a little bit of its time, but they're still a hell of a lot of fun. I don't know if I'd sit down and watch the entire series, but especially not with a monkey. It doesn't have the monkey in it, so what's the point? But yeah, again, I just don't think it had its fair shot at the lasso that it deserved. But looked good from what I could see.
There you go. And you are a very grumpy man. You're not easily impressed. So
no,
that's actually a glowing review coming from you.
I mean, Lyle Waggoner alone is worth it.
You've discovered a new man crush in Lyle.
Yeah.
Well, that is it. But listen back to all 65 of our previous episodes at our website. Take a trip in your invisible jet to 2geeks2beers.com. We're also on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, anywhere you can find podcasts. You can find 2 Geeks, 2 Beers. And subscribe, rate, and review, for goodness sake.
Please. And we're on all the social channels, as ever, at 2 Geeks Cast, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. If you search for us on there, you'll find lots of little clips as we upload them. And we're going to upload full episodes as well, just to make it easier for you to listen to, if that's what you prefer.
And we're also on Patreon, where you can sponsor the podcast, helping to fund our recording sessions, our equipment. All the money you donate would be going back directly into helping make the show. And we're not asking something for nothing. You'll get special bonus material, obviously.
Yeah,
including exclusive Patreon-only episodes, outtakes, and depending on how much you donate, even a mini episode or full-length episode that's exclusive to you. And you can also email us at podcast@2geeks2beers.com. Is there a comic book TV show or film that we haven't tackled yet that we should have? Probably not. I've done a lot of them. But let us know at podcast@2geeks2beers.com. Now, to play us out, from the Wonder Woman episode Amazon Hot Wax, in which Diana poses as a singer to expose an extortion ring in the record business.
Oh, of course.
Here's Lynda Carter, and she's got some lungs on her, with Want to Get Beside You.
Amazing. Cover as a singer, she's incredible at singing.
Just an incredible singer.
Did they have the charts in her homeland?
Well, like the Paradise Island charts.
Yeah. She knew all about funk and disco.